To me, though, the driver definitely is lawyers making money, and they're a powerful lobby.
Yeah.
But to me, the biggest driver of all of this is Title 4D.
Title 4D.
We have a statute on the books that requires all courts to act in such a way as to maximize Title 4D.
I know that. Texas Family Code 201.
Yeah.
206. Yeah, I know. I've seen that. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, which means that every court must, and for your listeners who may not know what Title 4D is,
yes.
It provides for federal matching funds for the collection of child support.
Yeah.
The state gets paid money every single time that I pay a child support check.
Yeah, but only if it goes to the Attorney General's office.
That is correct. Yeah. That's why you can't pay the mother directly anymore.
Yeah.
They do the collections.
And they also get to keep the interest.
They keep the interest.
There's a lot of. I mean, this would be an auditor's nightmare.
Virtually, Ken Paxton has admitted virtually all of his organization is funded by Title 4D funds. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people don't know this, but a good portion of the Judicial Retirement Fund is also funded from Title 4D.
I did not know that.
You may not know this either, that the Texas Attorney General's Office provides bailiff protection in many of the family courts in Texas, particularly in smaller counties. And they will only provide that protection if it's paid for by Title 4D reimbursements from those same courts.
Wow. No, I didn't know this either.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of reasons that the courts are highly incentivized to pull one parent out of their life with their child, to give them 25% of the time. Because if they do that, they maximize child support, which maximizes the Title 4D funding to the state.
Yeah.
And we have to be real about this. If you think billion-dollar funding to all the 50 states is going to get changed, you got another thing coming.
Yeah.
The states are not going to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
So what I have done, I've gone to the federal delegation in Washington, D.C., and I've said, look, I'm not telling you to get rid of Title 4D. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, as a first step, 5% of the Title 4D funds have to be used to help non-custodial parents have equal access to their children, or court-ordered access. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I would like to see that go up by 5% every year for 5 years till we reach 30%. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And then 30% of that money would be going to help non-custodial parents, and it wouldn't just go to further collect child support. And that will provide incentives then. And by the way, I want to try to get metrics on how many men are not allowed to see their children on court-ordered schedules. Yeah. And Title 4D funding should be reduced. If that man is paying his child support, but he hasn't been able to see his children on the court-ordered schedule, the federal government should not reimburse the Title 4D funding. Yeah. That sets up incentives for the Texas Attorney General's Office to ensure that the courts give men their time with their children. There are ways to modify. One of the things I've learned lobbying, and this is important if you folks out there listening are intended to get involved in lobbying on these family issues, you cannot approach a legislature with some, repeal $1 billion program. Mm-hmm. Like, they wouldn't even bring that to the floor. Their colleagues would laugh them off the floor of the House, right? What you have to bring them is an incremental plan to change things, a way that's possible to change them. And you know what? Title 4D, a 5% change is possible. So that's what I've tried to lobby the Texas delegation in the House and the Senate to do. And I've found people are very receptive to it. Yeah.
Can I, you're talking about you wanted to have some metrics. Can you mind telling everybody about your background?
My work background?
Your work background.
Okay.
What you do. Somebody can talk about metrics, but you actually...
Well, that's what I do for a living, right? Yeah. So first of all, I didn't go to Harvard. I'm actually non-degreed. Okay. So when I came out of the military...
And by the way, you're much smarter than Mr. Townsend.
when I came out of the military, there were just no educational programs that were doing what I was interested in doing. So I wound up doing scientific programming with Southwestern Bell here. Okay. And I wound up doing operations research work for oil refineries at a company called Bonner Moore. They're still around. They're doing good work. And we published a lot of private research. We had a lot of proprietary, so people paid us a lot of money just to come read our research. That kind of things. And I work with mathematicians to implement very sophisticated optimization algorithms for oil refineries. So one of the things people know, it's an incredibly small margin business. So it's really important to make the right stuff at the refinery. And then I started going out doing monitoring systems and measurement systems for companies that needed soft real-time data metrics long before this was a big thing.
Yeah.
And one of the companies I worked for example, in Hong Kong was the Hong Kong Jockey Club, monitoring betting systems, doing real-time telemetry streaming from betting systems, and looking for patterns for cheaters and stuff. What today we would call artificial intelligence work, right?
Yeah.
And we were using, the state-of-the-art AI back then, which has really worked from the 70s.
Yeah.
I came to be an AI skeptic. I wound up agreeing with Dreyfus on this and the philosophical objections to it, and changed my whole perspective on statistics. And I help companies now build automated systems and automate processes that can be measured in the right way. And so I consult with companies mainly on measurement. Yeah.
So when you're talking about some of these changes, you're not just somebody who's just throwing something out.
No. I fully understand in depth how measurements incent human behavior.
Yeah.